Hey y'all. So I don't want to bore y'all with a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but I really found this interesting. So I want to share it with you. I'm gonna read it again out of 80-10-10 diet, Dr. Douglas and Graham. Like I said before, I don't completely agree with everything that Dr. Graham speaks about, but I will say that he has a lot of good points. So let me read to you a section from his book on two carbohydrate camps. Although there are a tremendous number of variations on the theme, two basic schools of thought exist regarding what to eat. There are the low carbohydrate, high fat proponents, and then there are the supporters of the high carbohydrate, low fat approach to food. In recent decades, high fat, disguised as low carb, have taken the country by storm. In response, grocery stores, restaurants, fast food chains, airlines, and even donut shops have begun marketing their low carbohydrate and even, options with pride. If the trend continues, I predict that fat consumption will show a concerted rise by the next time national statistics are released. Why? It's a simple proposition. If your daily caloric pie is made of only three slices, carbohydrate, protein, and fat, and you decrease one of them, one or both of the other two must increase. People generally believe that the decrease in carbohydrates in their low carb meals is offset by the increase in protein. This is incorrect. As I described in the protein chapter, only exceedingly rarely does anyone eat even a quarter of daily calories as protein. The vast majority of Americans eat about 16% protein each day, and only a very small fraction of the population consume 20% or more of protein. The balance of our daily calories, at least 80%, must come from some combination of carbohydrates and fat. Essentially, any decrease in carbohydrates must be accompanied by an increase in fat, assuming we continue to consume the same number of calories, which means you must calorie restrict. Unfortunately, each gram of fat contains more than twice the calories of a gram of carbohydrates. So if you eat the same general quantity of food on a low carb program, you will increase not only your percentage of calories from fat, but also your total calories of the day. So how do people lose weight on low carbohydrate diets? In brief, research shows that these people invariably consume fewer total calories. Dr. Michael Greger's superbly comprehensive and condemning ebook, Atkins Facts, sums it up well. In 2001, the medical journal Obesity Research published Popular Diets, a scientific review. Claiming to have reviewed every study ever done on low-carb diets, they concluded, in all cases, individuals on high-fat, low-carbohydrate diets lose weight because they consume fewer calories. I urge anyone who is considering destroying their health with any low-carbohydrate diet to read the riveting 47-page document in its entirety. The following sidebar is excerpted from Dr. Grader's permission from that publication. Now here we're getting to the clincher, y'all. The deadly low-carb craze. When one is eating enough carbohydrates, fat can be completely broken down as well. But when one's body runs out of the carb food fuel to burn, its only choice is to burn fat inefficiently using a pathway that produces toxic byproducts like acetone and other so-called ketones. The kidney uses minerals such as potassium and calcium to help rid one's body of these toxins like ketones. People on the Atkins diet are urinating these minerals away, and critically low levels in the blood of these electrolytes can lead to fatal cardiac arrhythmias, lethal heart rhythms. The current director of nutrition at Harvard advises that all physicians should produce a handout warning about all the adverse effects of the Atkins diet. Now let me interject here real quick. Atkins, paleo, what's the other one they got called now? Keto diet. It's all the same. The symptoms of ketosis, a metabolic state where the body switches from primarily using glucose for energy to primarily using fat for energy, include general tiredness, abrupt or gradually increasing weakness, dizziness, headaches, confusion, abdominal pain, irritability, nausea and vomiting, sleep problems, and bad breath. After running through the adverse effects associated with ketosis, the American Institute for Cancer Research wrote, "Those are the short-term effects. The long-term effects are even more dire." Dr. Greger's full document details literally dozens of additional diseases and problems brought on by this deadly diet, including, but not limited to, malnutrition, compromised vitamin and mineral intake, cancer, stroke, gout, osteoporosis, and diabetes, potential kidney, bone, liver, and cholesterol abnormalities, cardiac disease, arrhythmias, contractile function impairment, impairment of physical activity, a rise in blood pressure with age, rapid falling blood pressure upon standing, orthostatic hypotension, and sudden death. Dr. James W. Anderson, professor of medicine and clinical nutrition at the University of Kentucky School of Medicine, said of the Atkins plan, "This is absolutely the worst diet you could imagine for long-term obesity, heart disease, and some forms of cancer. If you wanted to ruin your health, you couldn't find one worse than Atkins." Well, the jury's out. They've returned with the verdict. If you're on paleo, if you're on keto, if you're on Mediterranean, Atkins, any low carb diet, which is essentially they've switched the low carb because it sounds more attractive, the high fat to low carb, you're on a high fat diet, and what you're doing is killing yourself slowly. So let me recommend that you get on a low fat, high carb, vegan lifestyle, and that you live a life full of joy, happiness, as you live a life rich in health. Okay, so now let me get a little bit down to the science. And, read a lot of studies here about these, renowned physicians. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. When you're taking in all the fat, right, your body is filling your blood with fat, as I spoke about yesterday, and the sugar intake and what it does in reference to the fat in your body. When you're intaking nothing but fat, your body is filling up with fat, and you're trying to burn your fat as energy, but your body is not meant to burn fat as energy unless you are starving, so it's not efficient. Your body does everything in the most efficient way possible. The most efficient form of energy for humans is glucose and fructose. Your body runs on glucose and fructose sugars. Done data. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, if you want to force your body to run on ketones or fat or any of this other toxic substances that your body's producing by breaking down fat and running it through the liver and corroding and polluting your liver and your blood with this fat, you're not going to be happy. You just heard all the side effects of having such a diet: heart disease, stroke, arrhythmia, irritability, decreased physical activity. Is that what you want? You want to lose weight? The only way to lose weight is to calorie restrict. What happens when you calorie restrict? You're irritable because you're not eating. I love to eat. That's why I eat all the time. But I eat high carb. I eat rice. I eat beans. I eat bread. I eat vegetables. I eat fruit. I eat all these things that are so good for me, make me feel good, and make my life so enjoyable, give me so much physical activity that I can just enjoy life till its fullest. If that's what you want, then you got to switch your diet up. Why continue to kill yourself with a diet that is being flaunted as something that is beneficial to you when really it's doing you nothing but harm? I could go on and on and on. I mean, it's just ridiculous how people believe these lies that people tell. But like Hitler said in Mein Kampf, the bigger the lie and the more often you tell it, the more often people will be to believe it. And that's exactly what's occurred. I mean, it's ridiculous that this propaganda is spread. I mean, really, it's false advertisement, but yet they don't get charged. Why? Because they just want to continue to feed the masses this propaganda, these lies, so that, they continue to live miserable lives, because that's the way people are. People are miserable. But see, I got joy in my heart, and I got joy, and I want to share it with y'all. I want y'all to be happy. I want y'all to be healthy. That's what I care about. I care about people. So that's why I share this with y'all, so y'all could, get some understanding on what exactly it is you put into your body and the results of that. So, carb up. Get your carbs. That's all I can say. Get your carbs. Get your rice. Get your beans. Cut all the fat out your diet, and watch how your energy, watch how your mood, your attitude, and everything just starts to change around you. All right, y'all.